rich people keep getting richer, and the banks are doing this and doing that, and politicians are doing this, and they don't care what they do with the taxes. Well, instead of talking about it, why don't you start doing something about it?
Yeah.
Start taking action on the things that you're seeing, because the formula is right there in front of you.
I love that, right? Exactly like you said, the rich keep getting richer. Well, yeah, because they're making their money work for them. Why are we upset about that?
Right,
If anything,
right.
we just need to do it for ourselves.
We've all heard of risky investments versus safe investments, but how much is safe money costing you? My name is Darius.
And I'm Carmen. Now in this video, we are going to share with you why you are losing money by just keeping it in the bank.
Now, you aren't just feeling a certain way, because a lot of people say like they have it feels like their money is just disappearing. Like they check their bank account and somehow it's worth less. Well, that's not just a feeling, that is a reality. Because we have to deal with something called inflation. And inflation is higher than the amount of money that we're earning in the bank. So that cost of safe money that we have just sitting there in the bank is costing us due to inflation. And inflation is the increased cost of everything around you. So you go to spend that dollar next year, it's worth less than it was the year before.
Well, and the perfect example is like our parents, right? How many of you have heard the conversation where your parents was like, a Snicker bar was 25 cents, or you know what it is? And I can even remember in school, like buying a can of Coke was maybe 50 cents, 75 cents. Now it's $2, $3, which is crazy.
Honestly, we don't even have to go back to like when we were in school. We can go back like a few years, how much a pickup truck costs.
Oh gosh. Cars, don't
Six
even get me started
figures.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
A Toyota is 6 figures.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what we mean by inflation, just where your dollar isn't stretching as far as it used to. And so that's why it's even more important for us to recognize the importance of not just keeping our money in the bank, because every single day the worth of your dollar is getting less and less and less.
Right. Now, here's one of the biggest lies that the banks tell us, is the fact that if you put your money here, then you'll be able to grow your wealth just by having your money sit here with us.
Yeah.
Now, the truth of the matter is that the banks tell us to sit our money with them, but they don't sit their money with themselves.
Yeah, and really, like, if we just go back to the basics, back in the day, it might have been advantageous for us to keep a few dollars in the bank, right? Because inflation wasn't so strong back in the day. But now these days, exactly to your point, Darius, is the banks and businesses recognize that they can't keep their money sitting. Their money has to be out there making money so that it can keep up with the dollar, right? With the value of it. And so that's why for us as consumers, we really have to start taking heed to what people are doing around us and recognizing that we can't just keep $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 in our savings account anymore. That money has to be working for us. It has to be going out, getting friends, like we like to say, getting interest and making money for you.
Right. There's one thing for us to sit around and complain about everything that's going on and not doing anything about it, but the people that we're referring to, rich people is a great example. Rich people keep getting richer, and the banks are doing this and doing that, and politicians are doing this, and they don't care what they do with the taxes. Well, instead of talking about it, why don't you start doing something about it?
Yeah.
Start taking action on the things that you're seeing, because the formula is right there in front of you.
I love that, right? Exactly like you said, the rich keep getting richer. Well, yeah, because they're making their money work for them. Why are we upset about that?
Right,
If anything, we just need to do it for ourselves. Now let's address the elephant in the room of what you're actually losing. And I know Darius loves the numbers, so we'll let him break that down for you.
So when we compare inflation, let's say inflation's at 3 to 7%, but then in our savings account, we're earning 0.01%. So let's do an average of a 3 to 7 and just say 5. That is a big difference between 5% and 0.01%.
Yeah.
Because even if we look at that over $100,000, let's say your 5% is going to be worth, let's say $5,000 over a year. And then on that same $100,000, your 0.01% is going to be worth about $100. Mm-hmm. That's a big difference. That is a huge difference in comparison to how much money that you're losing versus the amount of money that you're making. And that's the same thing that goes back to when we talk about how you use your life insurance policies, is the fact that when you borrow money from the insurance company, what you want to do is you want to make more than what it costs you to borrow the money. Mm-hmm. So when you borrow money from the insurance company, because you're using their money, there's a cost to it. You invest at a higher rate than what you pay. But we have to do the same thing with our money. Above and beyond the 3 to 6 months that we need saved in our savings account that needs to be liquid, the other Anything above and beyond that needs to be out working for you. Working for you higher, more than inflation.
And I'm sure with everything that Darius just shared with you, you're probably thinking, well, where do I put my money instead? Because that's where I was kind of going as he was speaking. Mm-hmm. So that's essentially point number 3, is thinking about what are the next options for you to make more money with your money instead of it just sitting in the bank.
Yeah, I think ideally the first thing you should invest in is you. Because you are the one that's out there making the money. You're the one that's out there taking all the risks. You're the reason why you're getting active income in the first place. So in order to switch that active to passive, you need to invest in you and see what you're good at, what you want to expand your education on, so that you can be an expert in passive income. Because you're already good at active income. How can you get really good at passive income? So that first investment should be in you.
Let me address the investment in you, because sometimes I feel like people misunderstand when we say invest in you.
Education.
And really all we're saying is educate yourself, because really as we think about the people we want to become, it's going to take time and effort to figure out who you are going to become, right? Because the Carmen of 2014 isn't the same Carmen of 2025, right? Because we're constantly learning and evolving. And so when we say invest in you, that's about reading, right? Maybe instead of Netflix tonight, try reading a book. Instead of listening to whatever BS people are telling you, listen to a quality podcast that actually has factual information. It's all about recognizing your inputs. Mm-hmm. What are you putting in your ears? What are you seeing? What are you eating? All of your inputs, what's going in, because that's all going to affect you subconsciously and consciously. Mm-hmm. And in order for you to invest in yourself, you have to create a solid foundation of education so that you can level up and start to create change in your lives. So that's really what we mean by the investment in you.
Yeah, truth of the matter is nobody's going to save you but you. That's it.
Nobody.
Another thing to take into consideration is, why are the banks able to take the money that we have sitting in the account and invest? It's because they don't have to be liquid. They have insurance. Go figure. They have insurance so that they don't have to have their money sitting there losing money. So we should think about something very similar, because the proof is in the actions, not in what they say. Mm-hmm. We should have life insurance to cover our income so that we have the freedom to invest freely, to invest without worrying about, if I pass away, then, my family isn't going to get X, Y, Z because I have this money sitting in my savings account for my family. That's what insurance is for. Insurance gives you the confidence, the safety, so that you can make better investments in passive income. Now, what passive incomes are there? Carmen and I, we like real estate. We like hard assets. Reason being because we also have a business. We have multiple businesses where we have intellectual property. So we like that balance in our portfolio of hard assets and intellectual properties. And we're investing in the stock market because we know that in order for us to be successful, who knows what's going to pop off? Do you have a crystal ball as to what's going to happen in the future?
I wish I did.
But you remember in college in 2008 when the housing market crashed and everybody and their mom at the school was worrying about whether or not they were going to have a job.
Yeah, that was me.
But see, here's the thing. When markets go down, it goes up in other places. And you have to have a balanced portfolio so you can see where you need to concentrate or focus your attention after the fact. But you can't play in the game if you don't have skin in the game. Mm. Right?
Yeah, because far too often...
I was looking at your face like you agree with me, right?
You found me deep in thought because I was thinking about all the clients and the conversations that we have.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Of when people are thinking about, what should I do? And I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. And woe is me. And at some point, really, what I've recognized after the years of being in business with Wealth Nation is recognizing that this whole game family is mental. Right? We've just given you steps on what you can potentially do where you don't have to lose more money, but it all starts with the thoughts that you're thinking, right? Because if you aren't ready to take action, it doesn't matter what we say or what anybody else says. If somebody can scream it from the top of a hill and you still won't get it, right? So I don't want to go off topic here, but it's really about where are you sitting? You can't stand in lack looking for abundance. Right? You can't stand in, I'm not going to make money or this or that, if you don't even have the wherewithal to know that you need to invest in yourself so that you can learn what you need to do to move forward. So you will lose money regardless of these steps or not, just depending on what you're thinking about. And really that's the overarching theme that we continue to see.
Yeah.
And I say that, right, because with everything that we've been through, right, we've been in and out of debt, we've lost a child, we've lost family members, the same like many of you watching, right? And the point is, it didn't matter where we were in our financial journey, we had the thoughts to know that we're going to get out of this.
Right.
We had the thoughts to know that we are going to make more money, that we wanted to fire our boss, that we didn't want to live paycheck to paycheck. And so we were inspired to take those action steps to make sure that it happened. Mm-hmm. So going back to taking action, fulfilling your prophecies, whatever it is, it all starts with where are you standing? What are you sitting on?
Right. So with all that said,
sorry, I went off topic, but
ideally you want investments that outpace inflation. That's dividend stocks, that's index funds, that's real estate, that's your business. That's as long as it can outpace the 37% in inflation. And the next thing to understand is to keep only what you need in the bank, like that 3 to 6 months. Outside of that, you should be making money. Anything above and beyond your 3 to 6 months or your 6 to 12 months, whichever you feel comfortable with. Outside of that, you need to take that excess money and invest it.
Yeah, so what Darius is really saying, right? Let's make this picture super clear. You need to create some sort of stash account, money that you have liquid that you can utilize as things come up, right? Because as things come up, we don't want to take the money that we've invested to pay for the things that have come up. Those two things should be on separate islands. So we will have some sort of stash account. We will have some money in a savings account so that we can use so that it's liquid, right? And exactly what Darius is saying, the rest of it needs to be only concentrated in investments and retirement and in whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish.
Right. And I know there are going to be some people that watch this video and say, oh, well, I don't even have 3 to 6 months of savings. Well, that's not this video. You should check out a different video.
Yes, but we start there.
That's where you need to start. You need to get your 3 to 6 months first before you can say what the banks are and aren't doing, because you're not even able to get in the game. You're not able to check in at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, here are the steps that you need to take. There's 4 steps. Step number 1 is you need to check how much money you have that you're holding. Step number 2 is you need to move the excess cash above the 36 months of savings into assets. The third is you need cash value life insurance. And then the 4th thing is that you need passive income. You need to invest in passive income.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because going back to all this thing, we don't want you to lose money. And the reason why we don't want you to lose money is because it's important. You are the number 1 asset, right? You maybe have family, you have dependents that are depending on you for some income. So this exact list that Darius just shared with you covers the whole gamut of what you need to do in order to create financial freedom. And absolutely, we believe life insurance is one of those key components in this structure, because again, if you pass away, where is your income going to go?
Right.
And how is that income going to continue to be transferred to the next generation so they can continue to invest and create freedom for themselves?
And another point for life insurance is the reason why you have life insurance is so as you accumulate those assets that is creating your passive income, you don't want the next generation to have to sell those assets in order to make sure they have money. That's what the life insurance policies are going to be for. They're going to make sure that you keep those assets so they can continue producing income. You don't want to slay the golden goose.
Oh, I love that. And if you want help with your next policy, click on the link below. Wealth Nation would love to serve you so we can continue to take care of the babies and make sure that your generational wealth is secured.
Right. And if you want more information on how to manage your money, then check out our next video.
And remember to own your own lifestyle.
Or someone else will.